What's up, everybody? My name's Parasite. Welcome back to the Jose Mourinho Challenge with Sporting. Today we have Braga in the Taca de Portugal 6th round. I said I was going to come back for Famalicão, but I actually think I'm going to take a look at the data hub. We're almost exactly halfway through the season, through the league season. And so I felt like it was a good time to come back and take a look at that, especially with what I felt like is a very subpar performance from our attacking force. I want to see if that's actually the case, backed up by the data hub or not. Based on the last three matches, I think it's going to be the case because the stats have been glaring. We've got three decent results, though, all away from home, 2 wins and a draw. After that, just absolute match-fixing incident against Porto. Kevandor has not started another game. I don't plan on him starting another game, but it might happen because I think it's literally impossible for us to bring in a goalkeeper. But we played Florence, who are terrible, and we only won 1-0. And it took 83 minutes for Tomas to finally find a goal. Guimaraes, again, Tomas again, but took 50 minutes for him to actually find a goal, and we couldn't find a second. And then Braga 0-0. In these 3 games, I think I know we had over 60 shots, and we scored 2 goals. 60 shots and 2 goals. That is a level of incompetence I don't think I've ever seen before. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Our forward's inability to find the back of the net it just blows my mind. So that's what's happened recently. And like I said, I've been wanting to get in the transfer market and bring in some actually good players, but I was hoping this January transfer window would be a lot easier because the offseason we had was just impossible. We couldn't sign players because either they didn't want to come here or they were just ridiculously expensive. And nothing has changed. We're still basically incapable of signing a player that gets into our first team. Either they're going to have to be the highest paid player in Liga Portugal and would be like an average player for us, might not even be a starter, or it's going to have to be the highest transfer fee in Liga Portugal history, and they would be an average player for us, might not even be guaranteed a starter. Like, it's literally impossible to bring in a player as good as what we have for anything under $50 million or anything under than $150,000 a week. It's absurd. I thought we might be getting, if we find him real quick, let's go to our short list. We had a deal for a goalkeeper in the offseason, but he was injured, so he couldn't come in. Livakovic, I think we agreed to like a $20 million fee, and his wage was reasonable, but he was injured at the time, so he failed his fitness test, and he was going to be injured until the end of the transfer window, so we couldn't bring him in. So that was go after him in January. Now they want $50 million for him. $50 million for a dude at Dynamo Zagreb that's 29 years old. Like, the transfer fees are just stupid. Marek freaking Rodak at Fulham, they want $50 million. It's literally impossible to bring in a first-team player in this team. It's literally impossible. Either the wages are just redonkulous, like they'd be double our highest earner, and they wouldn't even be close to our best player, or the transfer fees are just completely unreasonable. But, yeah, so I don't think I can actually bring in a single player. In this transfer window, at least. There might be a player coming in at the end of contract. That'd be pretty good. It would be a good signing. But, of course, it can't be in an area of need. It's literally impossible to sign a player in an area of need. But strikers, you can find infinite number of good strikers that will be willing to join your club for reasonable fees. They seem to be, everywhere. But anywhere else, you can't find a single player. Because we need help about anywhere else. Except maybe midfield. I feel like midfield's pretty good. But we could be bringing a legendary striker, though. We signed Bale already, and he was kind of a bust. This one, I think, is going to be a little bit better if he does come in. He is a sporting legend as well. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo. His contract with Man United is coming at an end at the end of this year. And we've approached him to sign a contract, and he's agreed a contract. Originally, he wanted like $150K a week, which coming off at $625 is a bargain, but still way too much for us. Be 3 times our highest earner. So I eventually got him down to $75K a week, which is a pretty big downgrade, but still, $75K a week is a lot of money for us, but it's Cristiano Ronaldo. I know he's 38, but I think he would fix our forwards being incapable of scoring problem we have. If Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't score, it's literally impossible to score in this league then. Because he's ridiculous. It's freaking Cristiano Ronaldo. Started at Sporting, obviously like a sporting legend. So to bring him back would be awesome. I don't think there's really any other current bids in for him. No one else is interested. So it very well could happen. But of course, it's an area we don't need. We probably have to change the formation because I feel like we need to give Sesko games. He's been pretty decent for us. I kind of want him. He's got ridiculous potential, obviously. So I want to keep him on the pitch, but Ronaldo has to play. And so I don't know how I'd fit him in, but I'd change it up and I'd find a way to fit him in. If I can get in Cristiano Ronaldo, I'll bring in Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think I'm actually going to look at the data hub before we get to the game. So let's start there. Good look at the team performance. Last match against Braga. I mean, yeah, we were the much better team, except for a couple periods, but just completely incapable of scoring. Past map, nothing special there. XG table. Actually, expected goals higher than... We were scoring more than expected by 4. That's absolutely shocking. Pretty sure almost all of that's coming from our defenders and our midfielders scoring goals you wouldn't expect of them, because our forwards have been absolutely terrible. Let's actually look at him. Sesko's actually been decent to start the season, at least. Recently, he's not scored nearly as consistently as he should be. He's got 4.3 expected and scored 5 goals, so barely more than expected. Pedro Mendes, who hasn't... I don't know if he's actually... Has he played in the league at all? He might not have. He's made 1 appearance and 1 sub-appearance. Hasn't got a goal yet. Where is... Tomas is currently injured, which isn't a big loss because he did score our 2 goals. Only 2 goals we scored, but he's still not been good. 9 expected goals. He scored 7. That is absolutely horrific. 2 less goals than expected is significant. And it's obvious based on what I've seen him do. Pedro Gonzalez, see what he's at. Stats, slightly more than expected, but they're still, like, they should be doing better than that. They should be, like, players last year at the end of the season on, like, 5 or 6 goals more than expected. We're not going to get anywhere close to that. Let's see, Tabata, a little bit less than expected. Not quite as good as he should be. And Nuno Santos, he's actually scored a fair few amount of goals for us, but again, it was at the beginning of the season. More than expected. One of our most efficient goal scorers, actually. 5 goals and only 3.47 XG. But I feel like a lot of that expected goals is coming from our defenders because our attackers have just not been good. General performance, just not bad still. Defensively, we've still been doing really well. Shots, I mean, obviously our shots is one of the best in the league, but the comparison to shots to actual goals is just horrific. Attacking, still, and it's also not as good as it was last year. Basically, like, we were all the way at the edge last year. We were the best in the league. Now we're just good. Dribbles are still ridiculous. We're still really good at dribbling, apparently. Defensively, I think we've been really good again this season. Goal output, I mean, expected goals per game's decent, but I don't know. I want to see actual goals compared to expected goals, because I'm sure expected goals is decent. We've had 20 shots a game. But expected goals against best in the league. Good to see our defense is still pretty good. Possession, still pretty good. Pretty reliable in possession for a team that dribbles so much. Attacking efficiency, I mean, yeah. The most, that's close with Benfica. I think Benfica slightly more, but up there with the most shots per game significantly. And barely above average on a conversion rate. Porto not much better, but still, like, that is terrible. Shooting, yeah, pretty poor. A lot of shots on target. But expected goals to shots on target, not very good at all. One of the worst in the league. Scoring. I mean, goals per game is actually higher than I expected. We're still 3rd. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of surprising to me. I expect our actual goals per game so low. Assuming it's still our defenders and midfielders scoring much more than expected. Their goals to expected must be a lot higher than our forwards. Movement, still up there for dribbling. And being good in possession still. Passing, still kind of where we were last year. Nothing special, but I don't expect much. Crossings actually looks like it's been a little bit better this year. Cross completion's pretty good. 2nd best in the league. And still putting in a buttload of crosses. And that's actually really important with Sesko up front, too. Like, when you got a guy like that. Defense has actually been... Wow, Porto's not had a good defense so far this season. Pretty leaky. Their conversion rate's been very high. But still in a really good spot defensively. Defending, again, that's kind of where you want to be. A little bit, quite a few clearances per game, a lot more than we had last year. Tackling, tackle-1 ratio is very poor, but we're attempting a lot of tackles, the most in the league, so you'll kind of have that. Aerially, average, not that surprising. The fact we attempt so many is kind of surprising, but goalkeeping, I mean, yeah, still pretty good. Conceded to shots face, not bad, but I don't know if we look at the actual goalkeeping stats, I don't know where. Yeah, Van der Voort. I mean, where Ribeiro is where Adon was last season for us. Van der Voort is basically average. He is a massive drop off from Adan. And he probably won't be playing again, so there's not that big of a difference, but it doesn't really matter in the end. But yeah, he's just extremely average. Passing, I don't know why our goalkeeper's passing is so bad. Defending, again, they should all be about in this area. Caceres a little bit more clearances than he had last year, but tackling, Bergman Johannesson attempts quite a few, and his tackles-1 ratio is not that bad for a guy with 9 tackling. Did's actually ridiculously good tackling, but he hasn't played a lot. Caceres, for his tackling ability, that's pretty low. I think he might have 14 tackling. Airily, Inacio contests the most headers per 90 minutes, and his 1 ratio is pretty good still. That's good to see. Caceres, not too surprising. I still feel like I need a second aerial presence at center back, just to give us something else, because I'm going to struggle to find someone that's technically or physically or mentally even better than Caceres. No one losing possession that often. Aguilar a little bit more than I like. Bergman Johannesson actually the most in the team. And he doesn't win the ball much, but again, he has 9 tackling, so. Passing, yeah, I don't expect much. Bergman Johannesson actually the lowest pass completion. I guess it's because he will try more difficult passes, apparently, or something, but he has the best passing out of our defense by a margin. Aguilar, a lot of dribbles. The most dribbles from the fullback position per 90 minutes in the league. Bergman Johannesson not very far up there, even though he does have good dribbling. Huh. For being on attack, our left back is on attack and our right back is on support for most of the time. So the fact our right back has so many more dribbles is very surprising. Johannesson, the best creative fullback for us. Decent number of assists and decent number of key passes. Up there with some of the best in the league. Grimaldo is just ridiculous, apparently. Even though every time I've used him, he's been god-awful. Okay, crossing. For having so many crosses, must be all from our wingers, because our fullbacks are not crossing much. Huh. Yeah, it must all be coming from our wingers, I guess. Even though, I guess they are inverted wingers, but still, they want to cut in on their stronger foot. Midfielders, Ugarte, winning possession a lot, but he doesn't have a lot of minutes, so it's kind of hard to say. Pedro Gonzalez losing the ball quite a bit, so is Tabata. Santos a little bit less. Polina, again, not losing the ball much, but he's not asked to do a whole lot. Passing, again, I don't expect a whole lot from these kind of players, so not too surprised with any of those numbers. Assisting, Tabata, actually the most creative by a margin. A lot of key passes, a lot of assists. Nuno Santos decently. Kind of Moani in a decent place. Not bad. Our midfielders typically don't get a lot of assists, so not surprised to not see them super high. Polina, quite a few clearances. Not a lot to be learned from there. Tackling, Tabata. Attempts nearly 5 tackles a game. And his tackles-1 ratio is pretty good. Wow. For a guy that doesn't really have very good tackling, that's impressive. Pedro Gonzalez, I was going to say he was a lot better last year, but I think on this one, actually, expected goals per shot wasn't super high for him. He just actually had a lot of goals from his shots. Like, he had a lot of shots and he scored a lot of goals from them. But goals per shot wasn't fantastic. But not in a bad position. A lot of shots on target per 90, which is still good to see, but scoring, he is nowhere near where he was. He was like up here where this guy was last year. And definitely a drop off in his goals this year. Santos actually scoring more than he did last year, but his average rating still isn't good. Bata not being that good of a goal scorer for us. Forwards, this is where I really want to see. I mean, wow. Expected goals per 90 of Thiago Tomas, the most in the league. Nearly a goal a game. He should be getting a goal a game, and he definitely isn't getting a goal a game. Assisting wise, he's never done much, so not surprised to see that low. I wish Sesko was on that one. Sesko is on this one. Expected goals for shots even pretty high for Tomas. Sesko expected goals for shots pretty average. Shots and targets pretty high as well. Scoring. I mean, yeah, that's that's not great. The expected goals per 90, like the most in the league, and goals per 90. I mean, there's not a whole lot of players above him, but when you have that high of expected goals, you should be doing better. Sesko has more goals per 90 and quite a bit less expected goals per 90. Pretty obviously the best striker in this team is. Aerially, Sesko wins a lot of headers, but I like his headers win ratio be a little bit better. But he should. He's like 6'5". He's a monster in the air. Should be a big presence for us aerially. Dribbling, I don't expect Sesko to be too crazy. Even though dribbling's not bad. Tomas should be pretty good in terms of a dribbler. He's losing possession a little bit more than I would like. Passing, yeah. I mean, Tomas, just an awful passer. I expect Sesko to be a little bit better, but again, passing is not a big thing in our team. Assisting, we don't really get assists. Tomas, I don't think had a single assist all of last year. He must actually have one this year. But he did get a single one all of last year. Crossing, not that important. So, I mean, I don't think we've learned anything too surprising from the data hub. Kind of what we expected. Forwards not quite getting it done. They're getting a lot of chances, a lot of good chances, but their actual return isn't as good as it should be based on what they've been getting. In terms of supply, I expected a little bit more from our fullbacks. They were a little low in terms of their numbers, but Tabata with 9 assists at this point in the season is pretty good. Sesko, 10 goals. It's all right, but I mean, 5 goals and 12 appearances in the league. Even though only 7 of them have been starts, I'd still want better than that. Continental, he's got 3 goals and 4 starts. Not bad there. So, Sesko, definitely our best striker right now. He's got the little bit of a broken lower arm, which kind of held him out of a couple games, but we need him for this one. So, he's definitely starting, especially with Tomas out. So, he's starting for this match. Let's get into the team for this match against Braga in the Cup. Ribeiro starting in goal. Unless Ribeiro is smited down by God himself, Van der Voort's not seeing this pitch. Aguilar, Caceres, normal back line, normal rest of our team, really. Sesko up top, Gonzalez playing, Tabata, Santos, Polina Nunez. Bench, Mendez makes the bench with Tomas's injury. And even if Tomas wasn't injured, I think Mendez would still make the bench, even though he's not really scored the last couple times I brought him on. Mendez, that is. But other than that, the normal bench expected. Really want to bring in better players on this team, but it's just freaking impossible. Like, bang on average players that wouldn't get in the first team of a player challenging in European competitions are like $100 million. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to turn this team into one that can actually win a Champions League when I can't actually buy players that could ever be good enough to be in a team that could win a Champions League. I don't know. Got a lot of questions going forward, but this is a competition I want to win. This is a competition we should be able to win with Benfica out of it. We have Porto to face at some point, I'm sure, but yeah, we have to win today if we're going to get there. So Braga, the last time we had like 23 shots, 0 goals. So Sesko up top. Hopefully there is an improvement there. But other than that, like the same players played. So it's not like we didn't have Gonzalez or Tabata or Santos. We had all those players. And they couldn't score. They need to today. I want you to impress me out there. Our conversion rate in front of goal has been absolutely atrocious recently. We had over 60 shots in our last 3 matches. And we scored 2 goals. That is absolutely unacceptable. I would expect better from a Sunday League player. If you don't go out there and do the job expected of you, I will find someone else that will. How do you feel ahead of the second match against Braga in quick succession? I'm confident we've got what it takes here, yeah. You're unbeaten against Braga in the last 4 outings. Is that sort of run important? Can you keep it going on Wednesday? It gives us the real confidence to go out there and really take the game to them. They'll be aware of the record too, but they'll have the pressure of trying to put it to an end. I mean, I don't know. If we can't score, we're not gonna win this league. We have no chance of ever winning the Champions League. I mean, even if we do bring in Cristiano Ronaldo next season, he's 38, gonna be 39 years old, and this team's not close to winning a Champions League. I don't think just bringing in Cristiano Ronaldo will instantly make us favorites to win the Champions League. Not with how the rest of this team has performed this season. Braga are going to get one of the first highlights here in the 12th minute from a free kick in a very dangerous area, and it's going in the back of the net. Luquinha with the goal. Is that their first shot? just feels like it's their first shot. Yeah, it is. It's the first shot of the game. I mean, you should be scoring, especially when the goalkeeper's positioning is that god-awful. He's basically giving the entire net to aim at. All you have to do is put that on target, and it's an instant goal. It doesn't matter where it's at. Just anywhere on target, and that's a goal. Good God, this team is god-awful. I don't understand. We were so good last year. Tomas was the top scorer in the league. Goals weren't really a problem for us. This year, like the problems we've had, like the players we lost, are not attackers. We actually got better in attack, and our attacking has gone downhill massively. Defending wise, we've still been okay. Like, we've still done alright with no Nuno Mendes and no Adan, even though obviously our goalkeeping area is still a major problem. Sesko's going to have a lot to do there, and he's going to put it off target. I mean, those are the kind of chances you want good players to take, and they just haven't taken anything like that all season. They haven't been able to put those on target all season. I mean, it's not a goal I should expect to go in, but I expect you to at least be able to put it on target once in your career. They just haven't. Aguilar to Nuno Santos. Going to go back to Aguilar. Into Mateus Nunes. Back to Aguilar. Need to see him getting involved a little bit more. Polina. All the way back to Caceres, who's actually been pretty good this season. He's had a much better start to this year than he had last year. Bergman Johannesson. Of course, it's going to take our left back scoring his first goal at the club. Pretty sure that's his first goal. It said it was his first goal of the season. Maybe he scored, I don't know. Shouldn't it count all the games, like cup games, Champions League games, league games? And it says it's his first goal of the season, so I'm pretty sure that should be his first goal for the club. Even though I do think I remember him scoring before, so I think that's just broken or something. But of course, it takes our left back to actually score a goal. Strikers, 17 finishing attacking midfielder, 14 finishing wingers. They can't do it, but our freaking left back can. Unbelievable. Did I stutter in the pregame, or do you just not care that your job and livelihood is on the line? Our shooting has been unacceptable. Again, it needs to improve in this second half. First highlight, second half comes in the 53rd minute, and it's going to start with a throw-in. It seems like almost every single highlight, at least the first highlight of the half, starts from a throw-in. It's ours down this right-hand side. Santos is fouled in the box. That's almost guaranteed to be in the box. It is going to be a penalty. Who's going to take it? Tabata. Looking to get, I think, his third goal of the season. Pedro Gonzalez, absolutely horrific. 6.2. Tabata's been terrible too, but he's going to get a boost because of that given goal. Santos been terrible. All of our forwards have been absolutely god-awful. No surprise to me. But we actually have a lead thanks to a penalty and a left-back scoring. That is, if we have any chance of doing anything, that's how we win games. Defenders scoring goals and set pieces. Literally have been 90% of our goals this season. Tabata, there's literally no one there. I understand wanting to clear it, but at least clear it to a direction you have players. Sisquero coming down our right-hand side. We need to defend this. They're going to put the ball back to Mura. Luquinha, who had the goal already, gets this. Oh. Who's that? Is that Polina? Polina at a very good tackle to stop that. What probably would have been a goal from Luquinha. They end up having a long shot, and Ribeiro actually makes the save. One of the first saves I've really seen him make all season long. Gonzalez has been terrible. Absolutely terrible. Tired. I mean, Abisher, I think, might have as many goals on the season as Gonzalez does, even though he's probably played 15 less games. Gonzalez is coming off. Nuno Santos, also terrible. No surprise. Inacio, also terrible. He's had a pretty awful season so far. But I can't really take him off. He's still one of our best players, even though he's playing like absolute hot garbage. But I mean, you could say Pedro Gonzalez is one of our best players, but he's not proven it at all this season. Inacio's actually had good games. Gonzalez really hasn't. Tell the team to focus. I mean, no one. Aguilar's been absolutely horrific and is on a yellow. He's coming off. Skyro's going to come on. Literally just a pathetic performance. We only have a lead in XG because of the penalty. Otherwise, we'd be getting absolutely annihilated in the XG. Just a pathetic performance. If we squeak out of this with the lead, it'll be an absolute miracle because we have been awful in all phases. Back to Caceres from Abisher. Over to Inacio, playing on a 6.2. Also on a yellow, but I mean, if he gives the ball away here, I am taking him off. But he finds Nunez, Abisher, Sesko. hasn't shown up. I understand he's got a broken arm, but still, it's not going to stop you from being able to, pass the ball into the back of the net. Santos at least has shots on target. That's more than he's done for most of the season. Even though he does have 5 goals, like I said, a lot of them would come very early in the season. Can't even get corner goals this year. I mean, not nearly the same kind of pace we were doing last year. And we've got Sesko, who's not really done much from corners. Need to waste time now and need to make one last sub. It'll be an absolute miracle if we get out of this with a win. We've been terrible. Front to back, we've been terrible. Bergman Johansson actually gets over a 7 because of that goal, but before that he wasn't doing well. Midfield apparently playing well. Tabata got the goal from the penalty spot. That's literally all he's done this game. I think I'm going to take out Sesko. I don't want to risk him getting injured. Even though they're probably going to score, and then Mendez won't be able to score, so we basically lose our chance of actually scoring a goal taking Sesko out, even though he's not proven he can score anyways. End up being pretty even on shots and shots on target. They just absolutely destroyed us on possession, but that's not a good goal kick, but okay, that's interesting. It's going to go with another terrible goal kick, I'm assuming. I mean, he at least has, I guess he doesn't have a target man to aim for anymore, so this is definitely going to be given away. I don't understand why the defenders, back away from the ball every single time. They refuse to contest for the ball. Just give them free possession. A ridiculous lob ball over to Gil Diaz, and there's it's not the equalizer. I thought it was going to be. It should have been. And he was onside. That definitely should have been a goal. That is a massive failure from Braga. They should have equalized it there, and we didn't deserve any more. We've been terrible. Defensively, we've been awful. Both center backs have been absolutely horrific. Attack-wise, we've been awful. The only goal a forward player can score is a penalty. Literally, the only goal a forward player can score. Our left back is apparently the best goal scorer on our team. Polina, terrible giveaway. Forgot, we just looked at the data hub. He's been pretty good in terms of in possession so far this season. Rodriguez has another chance to score another goal. Finds Gil Diaz. I think he probably had a chance to shoot there. I thought that was going to be a penalty. Would have been perfect for how this season has gone. We completely luck out of here with a win. Definitely undeserved. I mean, still had a decent number of chances. Only 5 shots on target from 11 shots is. I mean, it's better than we have been doing. At least we've been having 23 shots on target and only 23 shots and only 5 on target. So it's an improvement, but still, goal-wise, our forwards, another incompetent performance. I'm not happy with the performances out there tonight. Recently, we've been sneaking by on good defense and a lot of chance creation. Defense was still solid tonight, but there was still a lot we can improve on. But where's your chance creation? Our forwards have enough problems as things are trying to score goals. If you're not giving them good chances, it's going to take mistakes by the defense like we had tonight. Penalties to advance in these competitions and to get the points we think we deserve. I know all of you are an ambitious bunch. I'm ambitious as well. If we want to achieve those ambitions, we're going to have to be much better from top to bottom. Were you always confident despite moments where it looked far from comfortable? I'd be lying if I said I expect us to win the way we did. Put it that way. What did it take for you to grab the victory from the jaws of defeat like that? We were lucky to get the win. We shouldn't overshadow what was a very poor performance from us. Yeah, it was all luck. Them giving away a penalty is the only reason we got through that. And a left back scoring a rare goal. Just terrible. We've been so bad. I don't know how to fix it. Maybe bring in Ronaldo is what it's going to take, but I mean, we've still got a lot of games left before Ronaldo comes in. Unless we can get him really cheap on a buy now, which I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know how we're going to fix it in the short term. There's literally no options in the transfer market right now that can improve this team. At least none that are reasonable. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But I'm going to keep going. I've still got a little bit of transfer window left. Maybe somebody will pop up on a reasonable price that I can bring in that actually can get anywhere close to this first team. But we'll just have to wait and see. In terms of when we're going to come back next, I think it's going to be for this Ajax and Benfica match. So quite a few games in between. Not a lot of huge matches. Obviously, it's a Porto match, but I don't really care about the Allianz Cup. Moreirense and Millicao, decent teams. Portimonense having a good season. Nacional, though, not great. Boa Vista, not great. Chavez, not great. Braga, again. But then Ajax, Benfica. Those are going to be 2 huge matches. We need to be in much better form by this Ajax match if we have any hope of getting to the next round of the Champions League. and to be able to beat Benfica. We beat them 6-0 last time somehow. I don't expect anything like that to happen again, so we need to be better. We need to be much better. Hopefully we're scoring goals again. I don't know what I can change. I might look stuff to the tactic, but I mean, other than this last game, we've been creating like crazy. Like I said, 60 shots over 3 games. I don't think it's my tactic that's the problem. It's our lack of finishing. I don't know how I fix that. But that's going to be the end of this one. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials and my Twitch are in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.